Hi Sasha, I saw you just joined us.
And just to tease, I had so many comments about the dancers. Dave over here is our director of product. Say hi, Dave. He offered to come up and do the dancer, so he learned it.
Just so that you know which class I'm in right now, this is the International Expansion class. We're going to learn a little more.
We're excited about international markets. I know you are here. My name is Brooke Bergerson. I've been with the company about a year. I've been in the industry. I'll introduce Gaia here in a little bit. She's going to help me get into some details. But international, I just want to share, in general, international is an expansion, is an important initiative for us. We're spending a lot of time on it. Jeremy, can you see in the room somewhere? Jeremy in the very back corner. Everyone turn and look at Jeremy in the blue shirt. Wave. Jeremy's our Chief Technology Officer. You guys heard from Matt Hoffman yesterday. He talked a little bit about the pages, the workstation, all of these details. Jeremy is the man behind the scenes when it comes to, think about an international market, everything from taking local commissions to being able to sign up, aside from the operational things that I mentioned, being able to ship, process and order, how our party's going to work from a cross-border standpoint, the cross-border sponsorship process. When somebody goes through that process, how do we make sure you're turned on and you're searchable and all the things that need to happen. So Jeremy's a great guy. His team's just done a tremendous amount of work.
Can you guys hear okay?
International markets. We're going to hold questions till the end. If you have a few minutes, I don't want to hold up the next session. But if you have anything specific, please grab me or grab Guy. We'd love to set some time aside and spend some time with you and answer questions. Australia, New Zealand, I'm going to give a recap here in a couple of minutes, just on kind of what I talked about yesterday. We're going to talk about Canada a little bit when it comes to international. We're anxious. There's a lot of momentum. A lot of people are excited. What about this market? What about this market? We wish we could run as fast as possible and just jump into all these markets. How great would that be, right? But we've got to be methodical. We have to do the right things. There's a process for every single market. Some markets are more challenging and require more investment than others, and they take some time. Others can go a little bit quicker. Canada is a great example that we've talked about. We look back and we say, hey, we're excited. Admittedly, a little bit premature. There's still things that we'd like to improve. I'll talk about some of those towards the end of my presentation. The other thing I guess I'd say is we want to align with you. If corporate, we go in and lay the infrastructure, hey, we can do local payment commissions, we can ship product, all this stuff, but you guys don't know about it, it doesn't do us any good. So if you're successful, we're successful. Just as you've seen with Australia and New Zealand, we kind of released a few videos. We're trying to let you know step by step, okay, now we're in this phase, here's what you can do to gear up. Here's when the launch is going to be. We want everybody focused on one market and working together to reach out to friends and families and networks that you might have to do so. So that'll be a similar process that you'll see as we move forward and talk about other markets. The last thing we want to do is say, hey, Australia, New Zealand, and the next day we're talking about another market and people are just stretched and returning, and what do I do here? It gets crazy. So we're excited. We want to go fast. We have some more exciting announcements coming probably in the coming months. But we want to make sure that we're aligned and kind of go through this process and know exactly what's happening. Does that work?
Yeah.
Tupperware, America, all of these are direct selling businesses that have been around for years and years and years, and it didn't happen for them overnight. And they didn't jump into 20 plus or 30 plus markets all of a sudden, right? It's step by step, and that's what we want to do to make sure we do it right. General session recap. Australia, New Zealand launch, we talked about October 1st, everything going live. That means catalog sales, you can host parties, product starts to ship, orders processing, and that type of thing. September 15th, so 15 days prior, is going to be that pre-enrollment phase. So if you've achieved the Australia, New Zealand pre-launch incentive, you'll be able to pre-enroll on that date. Once you enroll Australian New Zealand consultants, they'll be able to enroll others, so it gets the ball rolling for full enrollment. What else? Cross-border sponsorship would be the other requirement. Cross-border sponsorship form, how many of you have seen it online? So it's live, right? Any problems getting in there? Any issues? Pretty straightforward. You go to your workstation under the profile cross-border sponsor form. And yeah, you pay the $30 or 36 Canadian dollars and you're good to go. We're treating Australia and New Zealand as one region, so both markets together, right? You fill it out one time. It'll be the same for them. At some point, we'll have the fees. Once we start to enroll them from September 15th, they'll be able to access their own cross-border sponsorship form to sponsor back to Canada or to the US.
So they won't need it for New Zealand? Like Australia, New Zealand, they won't need it for each other?
Australia and New Zealand sponsoring each other will be, free. No cross-border sponsorship. We'll hold questions just so we can get through everything.
Sorry.
The trendsetters incentive, that makes sense. Everyone who reaches executive in that first 12 months, so in those new markets, become a trendsetter. We're excited about that one. The cross-border builders program as well. Do you guys want some slides here?
I tried to double tap to go in and it got me.
Cross-border builders, 3 months. We launch October 1st. We have 90 days, October, November, and December, to reach this achievement. And you get 1 point, essentially, for every first level enrollment that you make that achieves their fast start. So each person that achieves their fast start is 1 point. So you have up to 3 points, right, for those 3 months as soon as they achieve their fast start. If they achieve their triple fast start, then that's a 4th point. So every brand new, out of the gates, you enroll somebody, they achieve their triple fast start, you have a potential of 4 points. And then we're going to add those up, a minimum of 10. 10 or more points gets the pin. And then obviously the exciting thing, the top 3 total point earners there will join us on the official Australia-New Zealand launch tour. That tour, we'll see kind of how things evolve and where the pockets of people are, but we're thinking 5 or 6 or 7 cities around Australia as well as New Zealand, probably at Auckland, and just educational opportunity meetings. Love to get in front and start to train, and we're very excited about that. So that's coming. Just a quick aside from Australia and New Zealand, we're going to talk about. I'll introduce the international team, and I think you know most everybody. Australia New Zealand launched on October 1, 2015. I'm going to turn it over to Gaia in a few minutes. She's going to talk more about Australia New Zealand. We're going to talk about some catalog details, products, pricing, and some more cross-border form details. And then Canadian operational improvements. I'll wrap up at the end, and we'll talk about a 12 to 24-month global expansion strategy. So for the team, Gaia is here. Gaia is our new Director of International Development. She's, I'll talk more about her in a second. Ruby Lopez also works on the team at Home Office, International Market Coordinator. We have a Regional Market Manager for Asia Pacific and a Regional Market Manager for Latin America. So Home Office, it's interesting when you go international. Home Office is just kind of a skeleton crew of liaisons. As we go into other markets, Australia and New Zealand, for example, we've been in the process of talking to a lot of people and establishing a country manager on the ground in Australia and New Zealand. So somebody there who's kind of leading the charge, who can find out what's happening in the field, training and so forth, just kind of a country manager, if you will, and a close liaison back to office. That'll be the case as we roll into other markets, and then as those markets grow, we obviously staff and add infrastructure to support the growth. So Gaia comes from a $1 billion direct selling business. She has great experience. She has worked in South America and Europe in opening markets and a lot of product related activities. And I'm going to turn some time over to her to continue. Welcome, Gaia. Zealand. I need your help. Set the tone. We have a nice line down the middle of the room here. At popular Australian sporting events, there's a cheer that's commonly done, maybe you've heard of it. It's called Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Boy, boy, boy. You know it? So if we can divide on this side, my left side, I want to hear on the count of 3, let's give it a test. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie 3 times. 1, 2, 3.
Aussie, Aussie, Aussie!
Awesome. Okay, the boys, you had your work cut out for you. On the count of 3, 3 boys. 1, 2, 3. Okay, here's how it goes, guys. Aussie, 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 oi, oi, oi. Okay, 2 times, then we're going to go Aussie, oi, follow the side, and then wrap it up. Aussie, 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 oi, oi, oi. I want to feel the excitement here, okay? On the count of 3, this side, 1, 2, 3.
Aussie, Aussie, Aussie! Aussie, Aussie, Aussie! 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 Aussie, Aussie, Aussie!
So October 1st, sales are live. Catalog sales, you can purchase. Everything's going to begin to ship. Australia, New Zealand are live out of the gates. Get excited. Tell your friends and family if you have contacts there.